We are the official mouthpiece of the Nigerian maritime sector. It's Nimasa this week. Hello and welcome. My name is Iretiola Doyle. Nimasa's helmsman, Mr. Zakede Patrick Akpobulokemi, has once again restated the agency's capabilities of ridding the Nigerian territorial waterways of any kind of criminality, thus providing a safe and secure marine environment for investors. Mr. Akpobulokemi, speaking on the recent arrest of a vessel, MT Sky, on the waters of Brass in Bayelsa State recently, in collaboration with the Joint Task Force, stated that with the high-tech satellite surveillance system, as well as its MOU with the various security outfits, fighting crime has become a whole lot easier. Our correspondent, Rachel Lubani, has the details.
The Joint Task Force, operating in conjunction with the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency Nimasa, has apprehended a vessel, MT Sky, operating illegally on the Nigerian waters. The vessel, which was apprehended in the waters of Brass, Bayelsa State, was heavily laden with crude oil and, when intercepted, did not have the required documentation, and further interrogation of the crew led to a series of discoveries. This latest arrest brings to the fore the fact that the Nimasa collaboration with the Navy, the Air Force and other security agencies is yielding fruits in the quest to rid the Nigerian maritime domain of criminalities. In its quest to report this latest arrest, the Nimasa team navigated the Nigerian coastline from Port Harcourt to Bonny Island before proceeding to Brass in Bayelsa State, a journey which lasted over 7 hours on board one of the numerous search and rescue vessels in the fleet of Nimasa. On arrival in Brass, the JTF team ushered the Nimasa crew on board the detained MT Sky. Inspection led by Nimasa officers in the agency's Brass office showed that the original name of the vessel may have been tampered with.
It is not registered. The vessel is not registered. If it is officially registered, they will put as they write the name, they will put the IMO number there. But it is not registered. Look at the name. The original name is rubbed off.
When one of the tanks of the vessel was opened, it was loaded with raw crude oil, which ordinarily would have added value to the Nigerian economy. The Nimasa team then proceeded to Yenogwa, where the 7 crew members, all Nigerians, were undergoing further interrogation as regards the content of the vessel. The Director Shipping Development of Nimasa, Captain Waridi Eniswo, who led the Nimasa satellite monitoring team, speaks on how the agency provided satellite intelligence to aid the operation of the JTF.
I've been working on this operation for quite a while. The JTF increased ground-based intelligence, while we also increased satellite-based intelligence. As soon as these two were able to give us positive confirmation the possibility of a crime that is going to take place in the economy, the JTF moved in and the operation was very successful.
Captain Waridi spoke further on Nimasa involvement in the operation that led to the arrest of MT Sky.
Apparently what had happened was that the vessel, from initial investigations coming out, had unusual movements. The satellite flew past the area several times and took snapshots of this particular route. And as you can see over here, what you have is a total maritime domain, and the actual scene of the crime was around Brass, which is around this particular area. What then happened was that we exchanged this information, and we both referenced both the ground-based intelligence and at the same time the satellite-based intelligence. And both of them correlated, giving us a very accurate prediction that something illegal was going on. And that's how the JTF moved in. When we moved in, we discovered a vessel called Sky. It's an unregistered boat operating illegally in Nigerian waters.
The Director General and Chief Executive Officer Nimasa, Mr. Zakede Patrick Akpobulokemi, explains in detail Nimasa's collaboration with the JTF and how it operates.
There is an already existing collaboration between Nimasa and the JTF as directed by Mr. President. So the JTF has been working closely with us, and Nimasa, we've been working closely with the JTF. When we hear any information about any form of crime or possible crime a potential threat to peace in the maritime sector with our satellite system, with our surveillance, and other discrete information systems we have in place. We alert the JTF. If the JTF is around the vicinity of the crime, they can make the arrest.
Mr. Akpobolokemi also speaks on the efficacy of the satellite surveillance system in fighting crime on the waterways.
The satellite system is giving us so much advantage. Now we can definitely pinpoint where a ship is, where a particular crime is happening. We combine that also with some sort of other security measures that I may not want to say here, but all of them have worked for our good. The satellite system is too good. The days of guesswork are gone. We are now precision guided in our actions. We know definitely where to go, what the coordinates are, the vicinity of the crime, the kind of vessels that are involved. So we have that kind of information before we go for interdiction, we go for arrest. So it simplifies our job. We don't just patrol aimlessly.
Marine notice. Nigerian endorsement of certificates of competency. Pursuant to the provisions of the International Convention on Standards of Training, Certificate and Watchkeeping 1995 STCW Convention, requiring all foreign seafarers serving on Nigerian ships to obtain endorsement from Flag State Administration, and Section 84 of the Merchant Shipping Act 2007, which provides that all persons holding a foreign certificate, whether a Nigerian citizen or not, is desirous to serve on a Nigerian ship as master, deck officer or engineer. Such persons shall be granted a certificate of equivalence, competency or license authorizing such persons to serve on a Nigerian ship in the same capacity. Notice is hereby given that all foreign certificates of competency must be endorsed by Nimasa before the holders are engaged on a Nigerian registered vessel. Failure to comply with this notice will attract appropriate sanctions. All inquiries should be addressed to the Head Maritime Safety and Seafarer Standards Department, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency Nimasa, NMDRC Kirikiri, Lagos, Nigeria. Telephone +234 80 330 83703. Again, +234 80 330 83703. Email msssd@nimasa.gov.ng and msssd@yahoo.com. Signed, Management.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, and the Oil Producers Trade Section, OPTS, have inaugurated joint committees that will promptly address the salient issues affecting the sector, thereby promoting continuous collaboration towards the sustainable development of the maritime industry. The inauguration was conducted by the DG CEO of Nimasa, Mr. Zakede Patrick Akpobolokemi, during the second meeting of the bodies in Lagos recently. Once again, our correspondent, Rachel Ubani, has the details.
Nigeria's maritime sector, with its potential to create millions of jobs, has remained largely untapped. However, stakeholders are beginning to forge ways of harnessing the opportunities in the sector through adoption of carefully identified public-private partnership models. Experts in the maritime sector have observed that the changing nature of business requires that the private sector leads the public sector, while government maintains regulatory position as well as provide conducive environment for business to thrive. Against this backdrop, the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, in its bid to further secure the nation's maritime domain, and stem the tide of piracy, armed robbery, illegal bunkering, and other illegalities at sea, came up with several strategic plans. Top on the list of these plans is the agency's collaboration with different government agencies like the Navy, Air Force, and other security outfits, and the adoption of a public-private partnership model to enhance maritime safety capabilities in the provision of fast intervention boats and aircraft. The efficacy of the PPP model has spurred the agency to pursue further collaborations with other stakeholders in the industry. A recent one is a collaboration with the Oil Producers Trade Section (OPTS). During the second meeting of the agency and OPTS recently in Lagos, the DG Nimasa, Mr. Ziakere Patrick Akpobulokemi, emphasized the importance of sustaining the already existing collaboration in order to promote sustainable development of the industry.
If we are to implement the laws and regulations, we have to work with our partners. Our partners have to work with us. We consider those in the oil and gas industry as our critical stakeholders. Many of the decisions we take are going to affect them. If we take a decision on combating piracy, it's going to affect them. If we take a decision on fighting vandalism, kidnapping, etc., it's going to affect them. Safety is going to affect them. Name them. So, if it is going to affect them in one way or the other, it is better we sit down and we look at some of these issues and forge ahead.
The main thrust of the meeting was the formation of joint committees that would urgently address issues affecting the sector and engender rapid transformation. Delivering his address at the meeting, the chairman of OPTS, Cyril Pagano, thanked the DG for the innovations in the maritime environment, while also noting that the recent drop in crude oil price would serve as a challenge to investors in Nigeria.
I must say Nigeria is certainly one of those countries where oil is representing a significant stake of the GDP, of the revenues, where of course this kind of sharp and sudden drop in oil price is going to affect. So I believe once more there is another good reason for us to cooperate, to work together in order to have an understanding on things and make sure that the progress of our activities is going to be as smooth as possible for the sake of delivering on projects that we have undertaken.
The high point of the meeting was the inauguration of the different committees, which are the Safety Committee, Statutory Operation Committee, and Cabotage Operation Committee. They are expected to commence work immediately.
The Nigerian Maritime University is a strategic response to the perennial challenge of dearth of indigenous manpower in the sector. The university is expected to produce composite higher-level manpower for Nigeria's maritime shipping sector on a sustainable basis. It is a tertiary institution for the training of seafarers, master mariners, marine engineers, naval architects, nautical scientists, and other specialized maritime shipping trade skills.
Now, we all know that sport is a major component needed for the physical and mental development of any individual, irrespective of that individual's status in life. Now, this fact was once again underscored by the Minister of Transport, Senator Idris Umar, during the opening ceremony of the maiden edition of the table tennis tournament organized in his honor. Now, the Senator Idris Umar Table Tennis Tournament is an annual event aimed at encouraging interactions among staff from the various agencies and parastatals under the Ministry of Transport, as well as afford these very busy government officials the opportunity to engage in competitive physical activity. Now, Nimasa participated actively during the competition and supported the ministry throughout the tournament. Our waterways correspondent, Amanda Akban, has the details.
In line with the transformation agenda of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan of using sport as a unifying factor to promote unity and peaceful coexistence in the country, the Federal Ministry of Transport has established the table tennis tournament to promote collaborations amongst the agencies and parastatals which it superintends. Since assumption of office, the Minister of Transport, Senator Idris Umaru, has dedicated himself to the service of the nation and worked closely with the various parastatals under his ministry to achieve the desired development in the transport sector. This amiable disposition and this extraordinary commitment to work have contributed immensely to the monumental successes recorded by the agencies and parastatals under his purview. In recognition of the outstanding achievements of Senator Idris Umaru in the transport sector and selfless commitment to nation building, the Ministry of Transport Sport Club in his honor set up a table tennis tournament. The maiden edition of the tournament was kicked off by the Minister of Transport, who was ably represented by Alhaji Dindiko, the Special Assistant to the Minister on Marine Transport. These laudable sporting activities under the Ministry of Transport will foster a better working relationship and cooperation amongst the participants as they compete amongst each other. Commending the Ministry Sport Club for the novel initiative, Senator Idris Umaru spoke on the countless benefits sport has contributed to the lives of individuals and organizations.
That participation in sport has countless benefits for individuals and organizations. Among the most obvious positive outcomes are improvement in physical health, provide a positive outlet for stress and aggression. It brings people together who ordinarily might not have chance to meet, and allows them an opportunity to share their experiences and work towards a common goal.
While declaring the tournament open, the minister used the opportunity to announce the juicy cash rewards and trophy for the eventual winner and the runners-up.
The first position, that is gold, will go home with 500,000. The second position, that's silver, will go home with 300,000. The third position, bronze, will go home with 200,000.
Recognizing the efforts of the minister for the tremendous progress recorded in the ministry and the transport sector, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Transport, Alhaji Sambo Bashiru, represented at the event by Alhaji Badamasi Badawa, spoke on the importance of the tournament to the participating agencies. Pledging his support for the noble achievement, Alhaji Badawa called on the various parastatals under the ministry to establish sports clubs in their agency, as the Idris Umaru table tennis tournament will be an annual event for the ministry.
Immediately I was briefed about the initiative by the sports club. I associated with this noble objective. I feel this should be made very yearly, or should be made a yearly event, and I will therefore work with the parastatals to institutionalize and make it rotational.
He then urged the participants to see the event as a forum for gallant competition, socialization and self-development as they compete amongst each other. Nimasa, one of the agencies under the Ministry of Transport, is saddled with the responsibility of developing the Nigerian maritime sector and creating an enabling environment for stakeholders to operate, was the corporate sponsor of the maiden edition of the Senator Idris Umaru table tennis tournament. The agency was well represented at the event, which is aimed at deepening a harmonious relationship between the ministry and its parastatals. The high point of the opening ceremony was the official opening game between the Honorable Minister of Transport and the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Transport.
Thank you, sir.
Entertainment of guests followed as the cultural dance troupe thrilled the guests to the outstanding dance steps, after which the draws for the registered NVAs participating in the competition took place. Nimasa's Assistant Director Human Resources Sonny Erekosima and Adamu Dankora of the PR unit represented Nimasa at this table tennis fiesta and gave a good account of themselves, shrugging off oppositions from contenders from sister agencies and parastatals to progress to an advanced stage of the competition. Indeed, these historic sporting activities will promote peace and effective inter-agency relationship, which will in turn fast-track the overall development of the nation. We will bring you a detailed report in our subsequent edition.
Marine notice. Search and rescue emergency numbers. Pursuant to the agency's statutory mandate to ensure the safety of lives and property in the Nigerian maritime domain, notice is hereby given that reporting of all maritime incidences is now mandatory, and as such, the agency's Regional Maritime Coordination Center is to be contacted on the following emergency telephone lines: 07 0007 00010 and 07 007 0020. Again, 07 0007 00010 and 07 007 0020. Signed, Management.
Okay, it's question and answer time. That time in the show when we go trawling through our email box to bring you answers to questions that we have determined to be some of the most frequently asked on our show. And today, we begin like this.
Our frequently asked question for this week is: why is the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency Nimasa pursuing a massive human capacity development for the maritime sector? Nimasa Head of Planning, Research Services and Data, Ibrahim Jibril, obliged us with an answer.
The implementation of the Cabotage Act really depends on the human capacity that we have on the ground. And unfortunately, at the time of the promulgation of that act and passage into law, we do not have the required competencies in the industry to handle or to satisfy the cabotage regime. And that is why Nimasa strategically came up with initiatives that is going to build competencies in the industry. For one, we can talk about a program that has initiated addressing these capacity challenges in the industry with regards to human capacity. Believe you me, this is an initiative that has even been commended by the IMO, because there is no country, there is no maritime nation in the world that has embarked on this campaign as has been initiated by the IMO itself. That is the campaign on Go to Sea. And Nigeria has been in the forefront in supporting this IMO campaign of Go to Sea by implementing the NSDP. With regards to the NSDP, Nimasa has done a lot. It has gone out. It has started with collaboration with the state and local governments, whereby individuals are selected and sent abroad to undergo training on nautical science, that is navigation officers and marine engineers. This, of course, is an interventionist measure. It is a measure calculated to address the death of seafarers, particularly of the officer cadre in the industry.
Nimasa, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. For Obonga shipping registration, no. Nimasa, commercial shipping, no. Nimasa, maritime labor, Nimasa.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, the nation's maritime watchdog, established to promote maritime safety, security, commercial shipping, and regulate maritime pollution. Nimasa is well positioned and committed to take the development and standardization of Nigeria's maritime industry to greater heights. Are you interested in the local or international commercial shipping business or in seafaring and do not know what to do or how to go about it? Nimasa will guide and see you through. Sea pirates, oil thieves, and all forms of dubious and illegal business on Nigeria's maritime domain have no hiding place because Nimasa's eagle eyes will locate or catch up with you. For Nimasa, it is zero tolerance to sea pollution as all abandoned ships and wrecks on Nigeria's waterways which pose danger to sea transportation will be cleared. Nimasa, promoting safe and secure maritime environment.
And so we come to the end of this week's edition of our show. Now, don't forget, what makes Nimasa this week unique is the fact that you interact with us. So please, we want to hear from you, your comments, your questions, even your criticisms. All you need to do is to send us an email to the address currently showing on your screen. Now, we're going to be here, same time, same station next week. Until then, we're wishing you smooth sailing and bon voyage.